challenges which have to be addressed by the executive, linking to the councils, linking to the National Assembly. As the Constitution says, its intention was to clearly define the independence of these institutions, use checks and balances to ensure that they work harmoniously for our common good. That is absolutely essential. But we must, as I must conclude now, look at the mineral, look at petroleum. We have capacity to invest. DIPA, what is its role? We must transform it into an institution that will promote mineral, petroleum exploration as well as investment. That is essential. You look at agriculture. We are told that FASTEM, how much did it contribute? $28 million. GCAR, $19 million. NEMA, $84 million. All this went into agriculture. We need to investigate what has actually happened. We need to know how to develop our mineral resources. But more so, this time, the issue of accountability and transparency is going to be paramount. We must develop the structure. PURA is here. As a National Assembly, we must hold those regulatory bodies accountable so that services will be provided to our people. So fundamentally, this National Assembly has committees. The committees under Section 119 of the Constitution will have the power of High Court. So we are not toothless bulldogs. We'll have the power of High Court to get anybody to come and answer to us on any matter that is of concern to the nation. So what is essential is to prepare our questions, develop our committees, prepare ourselves to work with the executive, guide it in policy formulation, guide it in legislative formulation, so that ultimately, collectively, we will add value to the change that has happened. Maybe we will not solve all the problems, but to start institution building, instrument building, ultimately, collectively, we can work together to build a base for the further living of the country. Thank you. Is a sovereign citizen. An informed citizenry is a liberated citizenry. An informed citizenry is the citizenry that can bring about development. Youthfulness without knowledge is tree without flower. It will be barren. The key to our celebration is knowledge. I told people when we were moving about presidential National Assembly election, 293,000 children in our primary schools, 90,000 in our upper basic school, 51,000 high schools, over 400,000 every 12 years will come out to look for means of existence. Travel abroad, they are now being deported. We travel with them, they want jobs, employment. Some say that the minister should be here. Well, under Standing Order 18, we will have every right to pose 5 questions to every minister that we wish to raise the questions to. That will be covered, and we'll bring them here. Section 44 of the Labour Act requires the Commission of Labour to maintain an employment service. We'll be calling on the minister to tell us what is happening on that score. And the purpose of the employment service is to match job seekers with employment and to maintain a register of those who are seeking employment. That is important. Serakunda is a small police. Every single day, near the Sandika, in the street, women 5 o'clock in the morning will come from the condos to bring their vegetables to sell. Investigation reveals that, in fact, some of them are losing their gardens to people who are coming and investing in vegetable production. Are they also becoming mere salesperson, or are they still producers that requires investigation by all the candidates, all the members from the Congress, to see whether our people are really producing? Are we matching production with marketing in order to ensure that they gain income? That is the challenge. It is important to talk about economics. 20% of GDP comes from agriculture. 15% from industrial production, 65% from services. So what are we doing to build up the agricultural base? Are we able to produce by providing fertilizers, seeds, and farming implements to the farmers? That is necessary. That is a program that needs to be initiated. But it's a question of policy. It is also important to understand that to provide employment, we must process our groundnuts into oil, fish into fish products, milk into milk products, vegetables into other products, fruits into drinks. We must add value in order to be able to create employment. That is the challenge of policy. We must be also ready to expand the service sector so that we'll be able to expand the productive base of it. To provide electricity, to provide water, etc., infrastructure will not come from taxation. Impossible. Currently, the debt of the country is over 102% of GDP. And the GDP is 47 billion. And it is very clear that this year alone, the budget provides for 14.3 billion revenue, 19 billion expenditure, 4.7 billion deficit. People are talking about increasing income. Where is it going to come from? We are running a deficit of 4.7 billion. And the international community will not accept that deficit to rise up and to solve it by domestic borrowing. So we are dealing with a crisis, and National Assembly members should be conscious of that. This government will have to come here to address us. First and foremost, to tell us what its legislative agenda is. And as a part of that legislative agenda, we need to look at Section 1 of the Constitution again, because we say Gambia is a sovereign, secular republic. It's not that secular. Somebody challenged that at the Supreme Court, and says that it could have only been changed in 2001 through a referendum. But we need a secular republic. Why? Because Gambia is sovereign, and sovereignty resides in each of us. Christians, Muslims, women, males, Manilika, Jola, Sarakule, anybody is equal Gambians, equality in sovereignty, a community of sovereign Gambian citizens. It is a depository of the sovereignty of the nation, and that's why we need a secular republic. We may have to come to that with a referendum again to instill that, as our friend will say, that is in all the free constitutions. We should start putting it in our constitutions. It is important to come up with this term limit, important the absolute majority so that we can have second round of voting. It is absolutely necessary to have security of tenure of judges and the Independent Electoral Commission. and Section 91(1)(d) to also be expunged. That should all be part of the legislative agenda of the executive. It is important also to ensure that the chiefs, the alcaldes, as has been mentioned, it was there in the Constitution amendment to give power to self-perpetuating rule. And the agenda for transformation was to put an end to self-perpetuating rule, to empower the rule. We talk about balance and proportionate development of rural and urban areas. Where is the dichotomy? As has been mentioned, why a mayor in the municipalities and then chairpersons in the other regions? What nomenclature are we going to use to show equality? That we do not continue to see the provinces as the outskirts of the nation. And balance and proportionate development instituted for the development of the country. Yes, we need electricity because instead of Unda, they will tell you they're not getting adequate electricity supply, and 5 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, they will queue to try to get water from the taps. They will tell you very clearly also that flood is a menace because that stream is being blocked that goes all the way to Lanin or the